Guys, and welcome back to my channel. I just want to preface this video by explaining some of the stuff that I'm using along with my Tombows, as you know by the title, to kind of show them off to you guys. So I have the Lemome A5 journal that I used to use for my, to keep track of my store SQUs. I don't really use it too much anymore. I was planning on going through and making all these pages to do all these swatches to make a swatch book to make all of these reviews a little bit easier, but that's too much work for me, which means that I wasted some of these pages, obviously, which I do apologize for, but it's still useful because I did go through some of the first products that we're going over. As you know from last review video, I have this giant case that has all my Tombows in it. I'm sitting this on my lap because there's no more room for it at the moment. Yeah, so I'll be pulling them out of here instead. And then the last thing that I have is my bullet journal, which is a Zen Art Supplies notebook that I also have done a review on my channel, and it's been shown in a couple of videos at this point because I've been in it since January 1st. So I have all my Tombow swatches in here, so I think we're going to start off with that. So Tombow dual brush pens are the pens that look like this. They are water-based markers. They're about 7.5 inches long, and they have two ends. They have a giant brush tip. Hopefully you can see that. Just want to make sure. They have a big brush tip, as you can see. And then on the other end, they have a bullet nib, which is just like a flat, or not a flat, like a little felt nib. And they come in 108 colors, which are right here, all 108 of them. I miscounted, that's why there's extra space at the bottom. But there are 108 colors, and I've swatched them all. This is the order that I keep them in my journal as well. They're colored by color groups, so this is yellow, greens, blues, blue greens, blues, blue, violets, and then pinks and reds, and goes into browns and grays and all of that good stuff. So those are all of the colors. That's really all that I needed this for. Oh wait, and I will show you actually in the back I have a swatch page. This is 100 GSM paper, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. It might be 120. No, it's 100. I know it's 100 because it behaves like 120. These are 3 Tombow swatches right here. And they don't really bleed. They don't bleed through at all. They ghost just a little bit, but as you get to lighter colors, you can't see it at all. Sometimes the camera actually makes it look worse than it actually is, which I kind of think is a little bit funny. But right now I can see the black one kind of clearly, but it's not like dark. I can see the mid-range one, but not as clearly, and then I can barely see the lightest gray. I also did some tests with water, so these are the Arteza brush pens, but these swatches are Tombows plus water that I didn't do a great job on, so they did bleed just a little bit, but that's kind of expected with paper that's not made for watercolors, so that's totally fine. They have a lot of uses. I like to use them a lot for lettering, which is why I pulled out this book. So this brush nib is really, really good for lettering. I'm just gonna go to one of these blank pages. So what you can do is you can get a really, really fat, really, really wide stroke with your downstrokes. And then you can get a really, really thin upstroke, the lighter that you press. And obviously, like, I'm not the greatest brush letterer ever, but I've never used a brush pen that's quite that smooth and that you can get that fine end with. It's really nice to be able to do that. And I also really like using them for sketching for that reason. So you really can get like really, really big fat lines, but you can also get really, really fine lines with this brush tip. which is why people like the brush so much. And then with this bullet nib, it's really good for writing. That's what I use for the titles in my bullet journal for the most part. I'll pick a color for the day and add in some color using that. It's just a pretty standard bullet nib, but it's really, really smooth and good for writing. So that's pretty much it for that. You can also use them with water. So if I grab one of my water brushes right here, I can write, scribble, and then take my water brush and add some water to it, and it will thin out and fade, which is really, really nice. This obviously isn't watercolor paper, so it's not the greatest way to show this. I don't really care about it bleeding through on here or anything, but I do have some paper up here that would work better. Still not watercolor paper, this is mixed media paper, but it might show it a little bit better. Do not letter with these on watercolor paper, please. And on especially cold press, but don't letter with these on mixed media paper, don't letter with these on watercolor paper. You will fray them and destroy them. And I do have some that are frayed and destroyed because I use them a lot in paintings and stuff, and I get it because the paper has texture to it, whereas this paper doesn't really, and marker paper doesn't really, but it doesn't really work well. Yeah, it's complicated. But don't use them too much on marker paper or on watercolor paper and mixed media paper if you want to keep them nice and smooth and not like blunt. Like, you don't want to absolutely destroy them, basically. But as you can see on here, it kind of blends out a little bit better because the paper is better suited for watercolor. But I like being able to use these as watercolor paints, and I love kind of thinning them out and seeing, especially with the new colors, how they behave. And then the last thing that I'll do sometimes, I'm sorry, I just hit my phone. I have a bunch of white index cards. Again, not smooth, so don't do this all the time if you want to keep them nice. I've had them for 2 years, so I'm kind of like, not that I'm like wasting them, they are pricey, but I do use them all the time. So yeah, I do use them all the time, so I'm not afraid to like use them roughly and have to replace them or anything like that. But what I like to do with this is I'll keep a bunch of these in my bag and I'll swatch it out. And then it's really nice for if I'm on the go, because I keep water brushes with me. I can kind of use this as a palette. So I can take some of the color from here and I can start painting with it over here, which is like a really nice trick. And it doesn't really matter. I've found at least that the index card can like completely dry and everything and it still works. Because they are water activated, so whenever you add water, it activates. So it's nice for adding like lighter touches of color to your pages. And this works really well with bullet journaling too, because as most people know, you can't add too much water to your journal for the most part in most journals, otherwise they will bleed. So it's a really good way to add a watercolor effect without using too much water, because I feel like I use less water when I'm using my water brushes than when I'm using my regular brushes. So let's hop in to some pricing and stats, because I'm sure everybody's curious. We're going to start out with Amazon prices, I believe these are. Yeah, I believe these are the Amazon prices. So they have 108 colors, and I have all 108. I'll do a flip through of all of them in just a second. There are 12 new ones that cost $38.28. Oh wait, this is the Tombow site, I'm sorry. The 12 new ones cost $38.28 on their website in a set for just the new ones. I can make this a little bit easier for you guys. Yeah, so the 12 new ones are $38.28. And then the 96 set on their website is $279.99, and I believe that still comes with their 96 set stand, and that comes to a total of $318.27 from the Tombow website. They also come in assorted sets of 10 that are $26.99 on their website, and individual markers are $3.19 on their website. So basically what that means, no, I did not pay. I got the 96 set like 2 summers ago. In the summer, like 2 years ago, I can't even remember. It was not $279. It was like $140. And the delivery people didn't deliver it because of my dog, even though my dog was inside. So Amazon gave them to me for free. Yes, that actually happened because they delivered it late. They didn't meet their 2-day guarantee, and they were like, we don't know where they are. We don't know why they didn't deliver them, so they gave them to me for free. So I got my whole refund back on those. So my 96 set of Tombows is free, and I'm still using them, and I have not replaced a single one of them. So lucky me, I know. But on Amazon, they vary price from $200 to $100. Like, it fluctuates up and down. I'm not entirely sure why that works. There are Chrome extensions that you can use to kind of keep track of the prices. I believe Honey does it. I'm not sponsored by Honey or anything, but I have some extension where it'll show how the price has been fluctuating up and down over a certain period of time, so you know whether or not you should wait until it goes down again, or if this is the lowest it's ever been and you should buy now. I have not seen the 38 set, the 12 new set on Amazon at all, which is weird, I think. But I haven't at all, so, yeah. And then somebody sells individuals on Amazon for around this price. I want to say it's like $3 instead of $3.19, but they don't have all the colors. They don't even have all of the 96 colors. And then the sets of 10 you can pretty much find on Amazon, which is fine. And then there's Blick, which is like my new best friend. I love Blick, I'm obsessed with Blick. I'm a Blick affiliate, so if you go to my website and go to the About page and look at all my supplies, all those supplies that I couldn't find, I'm trying to remember. Most of the art supplies that I buy from Blick are linked to Blick, and I am a huge Blick lover. I live like 3 blocks from Blick. It's great. So the 96 set on Blick is $123.59. Huge difference from $279, right? Like, that's already a huge discount for you. It doesn't cost as much, which is great. It's really nice that Blick sets things at a lower price. The sets of 10 that used to be $26.99 cost $13.40, and then individual markers cost $2.29. So the way that Blick Online works is the prices online, you have to pay for shipping for the most part unless you spend more than a certain amount of money. The prices online are set up to be cheaper than the prices in store, because if you set up that cart online and paid for shipping, if you set up the price online and then add on the price for shipping, it's the same price as in store, and they will give you the difference in store if you can just set up a cart and show them that it's more expensive. But either way, like, they're not trying to scam you. Like, they're trying to save you a little bit of money, and they're trying to keep their stores and their websites at around the same price range. Which is really, really nice. I actually just emailed them about a product that I found cheaper somewhere else online. So I'm wondering if they're going to get back to me on that and what they're going to say. But their customer service has always been great. My stuff always comes quicker than it says. I think their shipping, this isn't a Blick ad, I'm sorry. But I think their shipping is like 5 to 7 days or 7 to 10 days or something. I've never had something take that long. It usually comes in like the next couple days, to be honest. Once it ships, it usually comes in like 2 days or 3 days. So it's definitely not like 5-day shipping or 7-day shipping or whatever it says. For me, at least, living in Philadelphia. But yeah, back to Tombows and everything. I just think that they are absolutely incredible. They're so versatile. You can use them this way for watercolor painting with the little swatch card and everything. So this is pretty much dried down at this point. And I can still go in and grab color with it and paint with it. And it's really nice and a really easy way to watercolor on the go. I love lettering with them. I never lettered before them. And they were the first marker that I bought because I saved up for them. I remember saving up all my money for the expensive, nice markers. And I absolutely love them. And it's been 2 years and I haven't replaced a single one. I've had the 96 set. I had a 10 pack and I can't remember why I had one. I must have had it before the 96 pack, but I honestly can't remember. But I honestly, like, those markers have been phased out. I don't really use them. They sit in a pencil case someplace because I used to use them as like a time tracker thing because they were nice colors for that. But not anymore. Like, I really don't use them. I really have just used this 96 set and they all are still great and working great and perfectly and everything. So I thought I would go through though and show you guys, or try to show you guys at least, my whole shebang. So this is resting up on my tripod leg and this is resting up on my silhouette portrait, just so you know, because, like, yeah. But this isn't even the first thing. This is. So trying not to overexpose them to make my editing life a little bit easier. Let me see. That should be good. So I have them in this big case. I've already reviewed it. It's already up. Yeah, it's already up. My case review is already up. It was my pen case review and the stuff that I keep in my backpack. But I've just organized them based on the Tombow system, or the Tombow color chart. So when they added the new 12 colors, they also added a color chart that groups things into color families. So these are all the yellows. These are all the yellow greens. These are the greens, blue greens, and so on. So they're all in here. And then as you can see, if I lift up these two, you can see the color behind it. Sorry. As I lift up these two, you can see the color behind it. And I went through with some, what kind of paper is this? I don't know. It's honestly probably mixed media paper, and I probably shouldn't have done it that way. But I went through and did the darkest swatch of every color that I could get, and put them on there just so I know what the colors look like. So let me pop these two back in here. And they stayed in there. They're good. This one's falling down a little bit, but I honestly don't really use it as often as I should. It's nice for when I'm painting to be able to see, like, what the color actually looks like, because I will admit that Tombows are not the greatest for matching their tops to the color that comes out. Anyways, we get into the blues and the purples, and we're getting into, like, the pinkish range over here. I would definitely say that the addition of the 12 that they added has gotten them closer to completing the range. I wouldn't say that it's completely complete, but I definitely like the addition of the teals. The pink that they added is really nice. I think they had 2 of them. That yellow green, this one, yeah, this color didn't exist before, and I honestly, like, don't know how we went through life without it, because this color is like a light yellow green color. And you'd think that that was, like, not significant, but there weren't any colors that blended with, like, there weren't any colors. I'm sorry. This color is necessary for some colors that just wouldn't blend with each other. There, like, wasn't a color to transition them. And this color is perfect. And it's actually one of my favorite colors. And I use it all the time. But anyways, so we're back into pinkies and purplies. This is my favorite pink. This is number 772. It's a really nice light kind of grayish pink. Like, it's kind of muted a little bit, which is really nice. And then we get into, like, the reds and the browns, which is really nice. Really nice bright reds, but also really, like, light oranges in this range. I can't talk because it's so early in the morning. And then we have 2 grays over here that are my cool grays in my colorless blender, and then my warm grays, which I hate warm grays, but my warm grays and my neutral grays, and then all the way down to black. So no, you don't need all 108. I would definitely recommend trying out a 10-pack, maybe from Blick, or even Amazon, if you're, depending on how much you want to spend. I'm a huge advocate for Blick. I'm obsessed with Blick. But anyways, I would definitely recommend getting a 10-pack or even picking them out individually. I would not recommend just buying the 12 new ones if you're looking to try out Tombows for the first time, just because the 12 new ones really do just complete the 96 set. And add to that, because there were no teals and the pinks that they added didn't exist, and that lemon lime color didn't exist, and that there's like a jet blue and then like 2 grays, and I can't remember off the top of my head all of them. But there's a bunch of colors that just complete that set, but as a whole, they're not really a cohesive set. Except for the teals. I mean, the teals all blend with each other because there was no teal before. But as a set, it doesn't really make sense. So I would either buy them individually, or I would buy a set of 10 to try them out with some lettering, try thinning them out with some water, try adding them to a watercolor painting, try using them in your bullet journal. I've never had them bleed through in my bullet journal using them on their own. I have when I've added too much water and they seep through, because that's what they do. Paper can only take so much. But yeah, I absolutely love them. They are my favorite brush markers, definitely over any of the brush markers that I've ever tried, which is really, really nice and really saying something, because I've tried a lot of brush markers. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I will leave the links to both Blick and Amazon listings for these markers in the description below, so you guys can decide which way you want to go spending wise. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.